What's up, ladies and gents? Welcome back to Red Band Cast here on the Red Band Cast YouTube channel. I get it. It's Monday. The week for TV terrors is over, and I only put up like 1.5 videos and then finished the other half today. I know it's different. It's not what I wanted to do, but I got busy. But today, I'm going to actually still review a TV movie because I wanted to do it before October ended. And I know it's still a long way from there, but I felt like it fit in this week best. Sorry, I almost dropped it. That's why it shook. I could have broken my phone and all the VHS tapes you're sitting on top of, and the ice cube tray that you're being put in. Yes, I use an ice cube tray as my stand. Behind the scenes info. But I'm going to review this film, a TV film from 1981. Fantastic for October. It actually mentions Halloween in the movie, so that's good. Not Halloween the movie, but of course Halloween the holiday. But this is Dark Night of the Scarecrow. And this has a number of really cool things in here. First off, I want to talk about kind of how it got made. It was originally going to be kind of an indie slasher movie in the tradition of slasher movies. Written by J.D. Feigelstein, I think that's how you say his name. He's a really good writer. I don't know a whole lot of the other stuff that he's been involved in, but he's kind of most known, I think, in horror circles for this, which is the first Scarecrow horror movie, or at least all the way through, a full-length Scarecrow horror movie. So it started out as this kind of independent movie, but then it got picked up by the director Frank De Felitta. I think that's how you say his name, Frank De Felitta. He's a writer, screenwriter, TV director, teleplay writer, and novelist. And that's something that I think brings a certain thing into this specific movie. He's kind of known for Audrey Rose, a couple other things, Audrey Rose sequel, stuff like that. But here's the thing about Dark Night of the Scarecrow that I think the TV medium brings to it. Around that time, there were all these TV movies coming out in the 70s through the early 80s. That all kind of had this same feel, and this still kind of has the 70s feel in a way. But they often told like morality tales, they told stories about sort of supernatural occurrences, and while they were low on blood and gore and sex, they were high on kind of metaphorical content, and that's one of the things that really shines through in this movie. It takes on an interesting little bit as far as kind of the philosophy of the movie goes. I mean, it's talking about justice, what is justice, what happens when justice is misplaced, and who kind of accounts for misplaced justice or outright murder. What takes place when, say, murderers get off or whatever. But that's kind of what this movie deals with. It's got this mentally challenged individual played by Larry Drake, whose name is Bubba in the movie. But Larry Drake, of course, is great. He's a really good actor, been in 3 or 4 movies I think you might know at least. Most horror fans should know Darkman and Dr. Giggles. But I think his best movie is this. I really, really enjoy Dark Night of the Scarecrow. But you've got Larry Drake's character, and he's constantly being bullied by Charles Durning's character, whose name is Otis. And Otis is a mailman. But not only is he a mailman, he's a pedophile mailman who pretends to be an alcoholic, pretends to be perfect, and gathers this town around him, or at least a few people in this town, to be his kind of like flunkies. And that's something that I think also is interesting in this movie. So the interplay between him and his flunkies, they're they're like kids, kind of. Almost all the characters are like kids except for Charles Durning, um, and maybe Bubba's mom, whose name I forget. But a lot of the characters in here act like kids. Bubba, of course, has the mind of a child, so he's acting like a mentally challenged 36-year-old man. But besides that, there's like these three other characters that follow around Charles Durning, and they just act like bullies from high school. Like, I can barely imagine them being married. One we know is married because his wife shows up in the movie, but it's hard to imagine them kind of like going throughout a normal adult daily life because they're such children. They're bullies. They follow the leader so hard. I mean, one guy's a farmer, and you usually expect him to be like a an individualistic kind of guy. Farmers generally are. They're not kind of groupthink people. They're more kind of individualistic. Hey, stay off my land. You're fine. Whatever. But this guy is just like follow the leader all the way with Charles Durning's character, and I think that's some people might consider it a plus, but I kind of consider it a detractor for the movie. The relationships between these four men, just don't work for me. Charles Durning by himself is fantastic, though. He's ominous. He's scary. He's the real villain of the movie. However, they bully Bubba until Bubba is killed. They end up killing Bubba. I don't think that's too much of a spoiler. But Bubba comes back. Or supposedly Bubba comes back. We generally think that what happens is that Bubba gets killed and he comes back to exact revenge. I don't know how much I believe that. I kind of tend to lean towards maybe it's not necessarily Bubba, but some type of avenging force. Now, yeah, it's using the shape of the Scarecrow and the symbol of the Scarecrow to scare these people off, to bring terror to them before he exacts the revenge. But I don't think necessarily it's Bubba. And the reason I don't think that is that I don't think Bubba's... Just the change in the character. Bubba's so harmless throughout the rest of the beginning of the movie when he's actually there in human form, that I can't think that it's quite Bubba. So my theory is that it's some type of malevolent force. God is letting the devil get at them or something like that. That's sort of my analysis of it. Just because it doesn't match up with who Bubba was. That's either bad writing, which I don't like to think it is, but it's either bad writing or it's not Bubba. That's the way I go with it. But there's a ton of really good performances here. Like I said, Larry Drake is good. I think Charles Durning is great, perfectly cast for this character. He's just so creepy, and you get so many little bits of him just acting creepy. Like he's saying to everybody that he doesn't drink alcohol, but he's secretly a total drunk. He's trying to be this upstanding citizen. I mean, he's got American flags on his dresser. He's got, excuse me, a little coffee. But he's got American flags on his dresser. He's a mailman. I mean, he even says everybody likes the mailman. I'm not going to hurt anybody. But secretly, he's killed Bubba. I'll give away a little bit of something. He's killed other people as well. He's a terrible person. And a lot of this just, I mean, there's so much to go into here that I don't think I can do it in around a 10-minute video. But it's a very good movie. Really good cinematography. One of the things that I think is a big plus for this is atmosphere. Most of it is just this creepy atmosphere that, like, anytime it's nighttime, you feel it's scary, of course. Like, that's pretty standard for horror movies. But I think for this, it's even scary in the day because that's when you can see the Scarecrow showing up. There's this music in here that's really effective. It's very minimalist and reminds me a lot of the score to Food of the Gods, which is based on an H.G. Wells novel or story, directed by Bird Eye Gordon, Mr. Big. But uh, the score reminds me of that, but I think it's better done here because it's less heavy-handed and very minimalist. There's not a lot of it in there, but and a lot of the blood and gore here is really left out as well. A lot of it is left to your imagination. So, what I think this movie does well, to kind of sum everything up, is that it's so much left to your imagination. There's not a lot of stuff that you're just going to be like, oh, well, that's what happens, that's what happened, that's what happens. It's a very ambiguous movie, and I think that's a very big plus to it. I gotta commend Frank DeFelitta for the visual style of the movie. Fantastic. The colors really pop, even though this is a fairly low quality DVD. I mean, it's not very high quality, not very low quality either, but I think it does its job, and it's definitely very well filmed. The sound in here, the sound design is really good. Like I said, the score is great, and I like a lot of the performances, and the writing's great by J.D. Feigelson, that's his name. Feigelson, Feigelson, written on the back here. I look at this for notes sometimes. But this is good DVD as well. Not a great film transfer, not great sound. I had to crank up my TV quite a bit. But at the same time, I think definitely a worthy movie to pick up on DVD. I think there's a Blu-ray out of this as well. This one's got director and writer commentary. It's got the promo for the movie on CBS, and it's got English and Spanish subtitles. It also contains a short little clip compilation of the different horror movies that VCI Entertainment have released here. Really cool stuff. I think this is probably one of the better movies that VCI has released, besides maybe A Christmas Carol, which is right up here. But yeah, great movie. Definitely check it out. Great for the Halloween season. Creepy, kind of a mixture between a slasher and a ghost movie. And obviously it's a Scarecrow movie. Yeah, really creepy, really good. I'd say, I don't know, around maybe I'd say even a 3.75 out of 10. Oh, no, not out of 10, out of 5. That'd be a terrible rating. 3.75 out of 5. Really good movie. Thanks for watching. Rock on. If you like, subscribe. See you later. Come back, I don't know, tomorrow for a new video starting my Golden Age of Horror week. Rock on. Bye-bye.